What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the Philly Frenzy Podcast. I'm your host, Matt. As always, I'm here with my buddy Rob. What is going on, Rob? All right. Sounds like a lot. So tonight we have Liquid Pro-Am, Mr. Analytics, Khris with us. What is going on, Khris?
I'm good, guys, man. Actually, not even sugarcoat it. Riding on cloud 9 right now, man. Definitely happy to have brought the championship home to Liquid. We worked our butts off all post-draft, and I'm just glad it showed.
All right, so I'm going to jump into it right away. Let's get into this. Can you describe Dallas? Can you describe the UPA event?
Yeah, man. It was, I think the best word to use, and it's going to sound really cliche, is just straight up magical. It could not have been run better from a production standpoint. Could not have been run better from a production standpoint. Off the court and out of the arena, we also had some amazing stuff done through Lab Rats. Big shout out to Lab, bringing in his a personal chef. At Gourmet Chef Jay on Instagram, man. He really cooked us up a storm. What else? Shout out to the Dallas Fort Worth area for having us. I mean, we cut it up at many a club. So it just all around the organization and the hospitality and the people was just a great, phenomenal time. Which, I was actually a little wary going in because I'm like, what kind of quality of people are we gonna have here? It's people we never met before. So I was let's see what happens, and it just ended up being one of the most fun experiences I've had of the summer. So shout out to everyone who made it out. Shout out to the UPA for planning it. Shout out Lab for treating us right, and I'm excited for the next one.
All right, so the finals went 2-1.
Yep.
At any point, did you get nervous?
I'm not gonna lie, I did. I got nervous. I'll tell you exactly when I got nervous. And this is all the data stuff. With 2:37 left in the third quarter, I got nervous because that was the 8th consecutive transition bucket that we had given up. And when we give up transition buckets to good teams, our win percentage drops, I think 15%, 16%, something like that. And so when I see us just giving up transition buckets left and right, my mind goes into math mode, and I go, oh boy, here we go. Here is the opportunity for their team to jump ahead and start flooding us. And, lo and behold, they end up dropping a 76 spots, 70 plus, which in Pro-Am is bad. And we end up losing that game pretty handily, too.
All right, so I know I'm jumping around. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I'm just trying to pick your brain a little bit. It's a little bit different than when I've had you on for analytics, where it's kind of, I'm sitting back, I'm allowing you to talk, and you get to amaze me. But now we're in the realm that I kind of understand. So this is going to be interesting. Let's jump to Jaden 2K. He's not on your Liquid Pro-Am roster. He actually made it to the league as a replacement.
Correct.
Was there any force behind you? Was there any push? Did you do anything special to make sure Jaden got it?
Honestly, Jaden was a part of our Liquid X program. So he wasn't even offered the resources that our PlayStation and Xbox team are offered. He was just offered a sponsorship. And I'm not going to take credit away from anyone. I mean, obviously the fiscal responsibility, I want to shout out my COO, Manny Martin, and my CFO as well, Dante. And both of them handled the financial responsibilities for them and paid for their leagues. Manny gave him a support system in order that he could just kind of bounce ideas off of, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the advanced coaching and analytics and, yachts in Miami and all that kind of stuff, Jaden wasn't privy to any of that, especially back then. But because he wasn't on one of our main rosters, he was just on a sponsored roster. Everything he's done, I mean, he'll speak highly of us in terms of the fiscal responsibility that we bear just for him to be able to go focus on playing 2K. But otherwise than that, all him, man. He really took that and run with it. And that, honestly, that program was meant for guys like that. And it didn't work as well with everyone else because guys like that are so few and far between. But he took that opportunity. He ran with it, man. When it's crazy what when you can invest in yourself because someone else is paying for leagues, what you can do. So he just he just balled out and really just put himself in a place where just couldn't be denied anymore.
Yeah, we actually had Jaden on the show draft night. It was a privilege talking to him. He puts out a lot of content, and he is a good hooper. So it was nice to see him get that opportunity. And I came across that you guys had a little bit of a history, so I wanted to just bring that up. So now switching over to your actual five, your five from Dallas. What is your mindset? What is your outlook post-draft next year?
My goal is to keep every single one of those players. That is my goal. I want to be able to go into pre-draft and defend the UPA championship against whomever and whoever that is. I think at the end of the day, whether or not, if T-Wolves Gaming comes back pre-draft and decides all five of them to play together, we still have a team that has the ability to make a run, if not win, make a run to seriously, give us a chance to repeat as champions. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. At the end of the day, these guys are their own individuals. I'm not going to force any of them to stay on the brand. I think I've put our brand in positions where, I don't care if you play in the 2K League or if you literally play for the actual Dallas Mavericks. There are not too many organizations and companies and businesses and brands in the world that can say they have an all-inclusive paid trip to go party with some models in Miami on a yacht.
Yeah, that's different.
That is different, and that's what we've been trying to build at Liquid is, so basically getting back to the point, look, man, every single point guard is going to want to play with Johnny Red. I'm fully aware of that. Every single point guard should want to play with Johnny Red. Every single point guard should want to play with Peroxide. Every single point guard should want to play with Dietrich. And if they get stolen, they get stolen. I will wish them nothing but the best. These guys are family for life. We did really something special here, but the goal is to return all five of them and then also field the best five that we can in terms of the 2K League players. And I would love to put together a team that's, something like, Bear and Shifty in the front court or Chuck and Bear, or however whatever we do. I want to put together the best five that are currently in 2K League and the best five that we have right now. I just want to build those teams to the best of my abilities. So that is the goal going to pre-draft.
All right, now with the past tournament with UPA, and then hopefully we get to see another one, and then the next one I'm gonna have to get there. I should have been down in Dallas. I sold the bag, but during the last event and the next upcoming one, is there any teams that come like off the top of your mind that would have made you a little bit more nervous looking at the bracket?
Oh, 1,000% Shooter's Touch. 1,000%. Not even a doubt in my mind that when I didn't see Shooter's Touch in that bracket, I might have exhaled for like 3 minutes straight. Literally, I think everybody has known that it has been Shooter's Touch and Liquid all post-draft, and you can flip a coin. You can flip a coin and say which one of these teams are going to win. We've had 2 losses all year that I haven't been able to get to the bottom of why we lost those games. Both of those losses have come against Shooter's Touch. And as a coach and a data guy, I hate it when I can't consolidate our loss to a singular or multiple variables. So if I can't say, we lost, GNA game 2, we lost because of transition defense, because Spam, he's a young kid. He didn't get as aggressive as he needed to be in the fourth quarter because he had 29 and 3 quarters and then stopped shooting. And we set him straight. So we had transition D. Spam got a little passive, and we weren't playing red on defense as well as I wanted to. We were just playing over-under. And basically with that, you stick to a side, but we had guys try and bump off of certain positions and reach. When you bump and reach and you don't get the steal, you put yourself in a pretty risky position to give up a hash 3. So those were the 3 variables, for example, that I look at mathematically and say, okay, this is where we give up the most points. So if we can reduce or eliminate these, then theoretically and conceptually, we should win the game. That's what my data trends and data entry teams and all that kind of stuff tell me. And there have been two losses all of post draft that I was like, we just like straight up got beat. Like we just straight up were not the better basketball team today, and both those losses come against Shooters Touch. And with both of those losses, I think they threw up my data too, because one time Cook shot every midi, one time he didn't shoot every midi, but I think he was messing, like he didn't shoot every midi because we were playing high, so then he was like kicking out to hash. Like he's obviously a phenomenal point guard. Wish him all the best of luck with the Pistons. So when for me, being a control freak and a numbers guy, when I can't be a control freak and numbers guy, I start to like lose my mind a little bit. I start to go, oh my God, like here we go. I don't have a fix for this, you know?
Yeah.
And so when Shooters Touch wasn't in that pairing, I basically knew we were gonna win, because mathematically, unless we beat ourselves, we were gonna win this whole tournament.
All right. I can respect that. Looking at the bracket, I pretty much knew exactly who was going to win. Now, off Liquid topic, I'm going to go back to back with two questions, but I'm going to stay UPA real quick. Did you end up watching Firestick and GNA play in the finals?
Yep. So we were doing interviews. I actually told Champ, I was like, I can't do any more interviews because I have to go watch them play because I need to get scouting on these guys. So I don't watch a ton of PS5 because we don't play a ton of PS5. Play a ton. We don't play any PS5. We're an Xbox team. So yeah, I watched that game, and after watching that game, I kind of figured if we could stop Claude and Glizzy, like we were going to be more than fine.
All right. I mean, I think you had the same mindset that a lot of people did, that GNA was going to run away with that series, which they did. Now switching off of 2K, but keeping it somewhat Dallas related here. How did it feel sitting down with Avery Johnson?
That was the coolest experience I have had so far in my professional career. Esports, non-esports, emerging markets, biotech. I got a DM. I got a DM from a verified account for one. Like I get obviously 2K League DMs a lot and stuff like that, and a couple of like C-list celebrities because of my work in biotech. So like the biggest DM I had got before that was I had met Matt James, like The Bachelor. For some charity event, which was sick, right? But he's not some guy I grew up watching on TV. I grew up watching Avery Johnson coach the Nets on TV. And when I get a DM from Avery Johnson saying, hey man, saw you guys were in Dallas. I'm here as well in the airport. I don't know if you have a flight today, but if you do, would love to talk analytics and what you do for Liquid. Big fan. That was the highlight of my life, man. Like, that was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. And me getting to sit down across from Avery Johnson and talk coaching is one of the greatest things that I've got to experience as a coach, as a athlete, as a man. Just being able to literally sit down, and he's telling me stories about the NBA and his coaching experience, what was like grooming Colin Sexton, and I'm telling him about my 2 point guards, Johnny Red and Spam. And just going back and forth, and him giving me some insight, me giving him some insight in terms of data and all that kind of stuff. And him actually wanting to contribute and saying, he's now in commercial real estate. He's not really coaching basketball, but him saying, hey man, if you want me to, jump right in and do some coaching pre-draft, I'd more than welcome that. And for him to offer that, I think it's something we're going to take him up on, and get a Liquid playbook designed by data and a former NBA head coach. I hope there are some league hopefuls and some league players listening to that, because it gets tough to be better than that.
That is pretty dope. I mean, to have a former NBA player and a former NBA coach want to coach your organization, hats off. Going back, I know I'm backtracking, going all over the place. I'm just trying to hit on every question that I come up with off the top of my head. Going back to Shooters Touch, is Cooks the most versatile point guard, the point guard that gave you nightmares before you played him, like that your team had to play against all pre and post draft?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, the one guy that I've looked at numbers for and been like, we just lost 2 games. And like, there's nothing you can do. Sometimes you just get beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we're 97% of like efficient, and we win 97% of our games, And all of our games that we lose come against one singular team. And it's not like either one of us blows the other person out, usually. It's usually a tight-knit series, usually averaging 500, 600 on Twitch, you know?
Yeah.
That's the one guy, like, you know, it's tough to plan for. I mean, like, I can't say one thing. You know how easy it is when you can just say, oh, Zay, let's put Zay on an island with the point guard because he's a phenomenal lock and he's going to be, you know, a lottery pick next year. And let's put Zay on the point guard, and you know Zay's gonna lock him up, and everyone else, you know, make sure we don't give up any threes. And if they go back door, let's switch weak side. Like that's pretty easy to do as a coach, you know. And that's 95% of what I do because these guys are so talented. So the 5%, when we look at locking on Cooks, it's just not that simple. And when it's not that simple, you got to do a deep data dive. And then I did the deep data dive, and I find that there's not really one thing we can, you know, manipulate or exploit against him because he's pretty well rounded. And so, you know, there isn't one defense. There isn't one like, you know, we can't play full court press and play right up high. He's just a very well-rounded player that's going to be able to get his no matter what. So then you have to, as a coach, say, you know what? It's like Kevin Durant. He's going to get his. Let's make sure nobody else gets theirs. That's basically what the game plan is going in against shooter's touch. Oh, against the old shooter's touch.
So after winning UPA, having a successful post-draft, if a coaching spot becomes available in the 2K League, are you putting your hat in? Or you're putting your name in the hat?
I want to. I want to so badly, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if you guys have seen the timeline, and I have this really bad habit where I'm young. I'm 22. I just turned 22 years of age about a month ago. And I talk to Josiah Cohen with the Warriors all the time about data and what we do and fundamental analysis and all that kind of stuff. Not too long ago, I saw on the timeline so much slander about the data and about liquid and how it doesn't work and how this is that and this is that and how people have to listen to me talking about this kind of stuff. And I saw it after we won too. But I think the one thing that makes me so happy, and this will make me happier than anything can ever bring me down, is we win the UPA, and 3 days later on the timeline, every single organization is looking for a GM and head coach. I mean, people will try and take stuff away from you. You know, people haven't been with me with my 6 monitor setup at 2 a.m. when I have work at 7:30 in a client meeting, but I'm watching Pro-Am basketball. I'm watching virtual basketball in a time where we didn't have peroxide. I'm watching Johnny and Spam lose to some team that we're never going to hear about again. Because that's what happened the first 3 months we were Liquid Pro-Am.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't there, so people don't get it. And to see people now finally come around to the process and say, we're looking for a coach or a GM, another pair of eyes, and a data analyst. To see Toxic say the Eyeball Empire team is going to have a GM, a coach, and a data analyst, and for me to do all 3 of those things for Liquid and come around $30,000 richer, people can say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. And, you know, I stopped checking the timeline since, because no matter what, whether people think Liquid works or it doesn't work, I'm going to be in a yacht with some beautiful women and my 5 best friends in Miami in 2 weeks with $30,000 and a camera crew following me around. So, I mean, that's the long answer to the question, but yeah, I mean, winning UPA I think was like definitely a dream come true, and I gotta give credit where credit is due to the guys, because it's easy to be a 1 seed and people are like, oh, you were supposed to win. Yeah, we were supposed to win. You still got to do it. GNA is not a team you just get to walk over.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's my whole query about coaches and stuff like that. And if a spot becomes open in the 2K League, I want to do the exact same thing that I did for Liquid. I honestly welcome a challenge. And if any 2K League, you know, admin are hearing this, like if you're the Lakers or you're Gen G or you're someone like that, like give me one of those teams. Give me a team that's middle of the pack or bottom of the pack, and I want to be the guy to turn it around, because I have every confidence that I have the capabilities, both the charisma, education, and ability to, you know, show people what the power of data can do, and I would welcome any and all opportunities in the 2K League.
Now that Khris is out here lobbying for a job, I'm just going to make sure that everybody realizes that I'm looking to be a head coach in the 2K League. So if anybody wants to hit me up as well, you know where to reach me. But jumping to the conversation that I'm going to hit on with the stuff on Twitter. So
Yep.
you are, in a sense, you are one of the only organizations, that has a GM coach. When you look around, it's ENG, GNA, and really after that, you don't have that mold. Like, you were we saw it last year with Lab in post draft. I got to work with him. He was the GM. I was the coach. So he brought it to light a little bit with the paying a certain salary. But, like I said, you're one of Liquid's now, like, to me, the third organization that really pops out in my mind that's doing what you're doing now. So it's definitely different. And after seeing the results in UPA, Twitter has reacted to it a lot differently. And it seems like now everybody wants to do what ENG, GNA, and Liquid Pro-Am is doing. So, you're on that Mount Rushmore, in a sense, with the two other organizations that do exactly what you do. So that must make you feel, good as well.
Yeah, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Like, this was the data was all original ideas, but this actually stemmed from the Team of Power last year when I just joined FT and Matt, you were in it at that time as well, and I was watching the Team of Power and I was like, this is a really cool concept, and I really like it. I was like, I think there needs to be a little bit more in terms of giving guys resources, in terms like a little bit more marketing on the individual brand's behalf. Mm-hmm. And a little bit more data, or at least giving the coach some access to data. Because if you're paying $600 a week, if you pay $100 a week to, kind of, it doesn't, there's ways to get to find, if you can't do the data yourself, to find a data guy.
Yeah.
And so I just took that model really, and same thing with I can't remember his name, but he's an ENG, and I want to give him his credit as well. He coached. Is it Green Huncho? I don't know how he goes by, but he had a team a couple years back, and he kind of started like the coaching aspect of all that kind of stuff, and Rankum as well. Just all of them consistently have teams that you see guys in the 2K League right now, and the goal wasn't to get guys in the 2K League as much. Honestly, the goal was to prove that we could win with data, and we put together a 5 with data, and then. Because people are like, oh, like Johnny and Spam, like, yeah, they're really good. Yeah, but like they also like, we had Johnny and Spam when we started, and we didn't win anything. They're really, really good, but there's a lot more that goes in than just scoring the basketball. So then, I was like, we need a top lock, and we went to Stage and got Zay, and then we went and got, and he was playing on In Control as well. He was brand new to In Control at that point. And then Peroxide, I had a 2-hour phone call with him, just begging him to give us a chance, and he did. And then we went out and got Dietrich, who does, everything very well at a high level. And so we put together a very well-rounded, mathematically oriented team. And people always wonder, like, how did Liquid pick this 5? And because I had been through Oreos, who's a great player, but I had been through Hami and Oreo and all these power forwards, and it just didn't seem like the right fit because we needed a leader at that position. Not that Oreo isn't a leader, but we needed literally an experienced 2K League veteran that has seen it all and done it all. And that's so hard to find, right? Like Oreo's a hell of a player, and he's a hell of a guy as well. Like, but we really just needed like a role that no one else in post draft can fill except for Peroxide. Having an on-court coach who understands game mechanics is more important than having a data analyst. So I can come up with all the math formulas and expected play values I want. If we can't do it, it doesn't matter. And he makes sure that we can do it. So. Credit to all those teams who gave me kind of the bouncing off point, the GNAs, the ENGs, Lab, and Team of Power. They kind of gave me the fundamental idea to kind of take something and run with it. I'm a tech guy, so you guys know in tech, like I work in biotech full time, and in tech, that's what we do. We look at competitors and we see their products, and then we try and one-up them and improve over it. And I think, this post-draft, we've definitely been able to do it, and I look forward to their best versions of it come pre-draft for next year.
All right. Let's get off of organizations and gaming. Let's get to your jerseys that are releasing.
Mm-hmm.
What is exactly releasing, and where can somebody find it?
Yeah, so I was super, super excited to land a deal with a private supplier to get Liquid Pro-Am jerseys done. So 100% polyester, same make, same build, same cut as all the jerseys in the 2K League. And so everything is available at liquidproam.com. Currently, we had a midnight drop last night for the official team jersey, now with the UPA championship patch. And then over the next couple of days, and this is the first place I'll say it, we're going to drop. So the UPA jerseys are $50 right now. They're on sale. They're usually $60, just like an esports jersey. And we're going to come up with some cheaper options because at the end of the day, I want everyone to have some Liquid apparel, whether they can afford the full jersey or not. So I'm going to drop the new branding stuff right here on the podcast. We're going to just come out with T-shirts, hats, socks. We have a shooting sleeve coming out in the works as well. And so all that kind of stuff. T-shirts we're dropping tomorrow. Hats hopefully next week. Socks hopefully next week. Shooting sleeve hopefully the week after. And so all of that will be a lot cheaper than jersey, usually the $15 to $25 range. And yeah, they're all designed by an array of guys from Twitter. And we've also got a little partnership with Eddie Bauer and some of their designers to fill out some of the compounds for us. So I'm definitely excited with what we've got.
All right, this is my last question, and then I'll shoot to Rob, see if Rob's got anything, and then, if you want center stage, I'll give you center stage for a few minutes. But my last question is, have you started looking for your replacements for Spam and Johnny?
For Spam, no. I have not started looking for my replacement for Spam because he's not draft eligible next year.
Okay.
My replacement for Johnny, honest to God, I said this in Twitter Spaces the other day, have been so busy post UPA with the jersey release. I just launched a data article today. Booked the yachts on Monday with Lab, booked the flights, that I have not gotten around to scouting the next Johnny. I hope he'll stay with us for pre-draft, but I gotta do my due diligences as a coach, owner, and GM, and try and find the next one. I don't know who it is right now. I don't know if there's a consensus. People were telling me MJB, and I respect the hell out of MJB. He's a great player, but we're really looking for a set personality to come on board to Liquid. I think the number one thing we have, more than the data, is the team chemistry we have. And I just, personally, I don't know if they would, mess it up or anything like that. So no replacements yet. The goal is, and I pray to God every day, the goal is that I can keep these guys pre-draft and not have to do any of that scouting until we get to the end of pre-draft next year.
All right. I mean, Rob, you got anything you want to ask?
I mean, you've pretty much taken care of 99.9% of the questions there, big guy.
I'm sorry.
I
got on a roll here.
Get a word in edgewise over here. Our audience knows I'm not as acquainted with the 2K League as you guys are, but it seemed like everybody really loved this tournament down in Dallas. What was the biggest difference you noticed between that and other tournaments you guys have seen run? Both of you can answer this.
I guess I'll go first. And first of all, there's no beat to the in-person, just in-person action. I mean, first you when you talk, some smack, you got to actually get up and say it to someone's face. Which some people, they get a little bit more animated. Some people get a little less animated. I think it provides a very unique and interesting perspective. Also, the pressure is so much different. I mean, we have hundreds of fans screaming, Johnny Red, PS5 is better. The people were screaming, you're getting JISO'd. People were screaming, you're getting rabbed. People are just screaming. And it's almost like being a professional athlete, man, as opposed to like playing online at the comfort of your own home. So, I mean, that's the difference between a LAN event and in person. The difference in LAN events, I mean, I've only luckily been able to see successfully run LAN events, and this was definitely right there up there with them. So shout out the production team, and UPA for putting them all together, because I don't think people realize how much behind the scenes work go into this. We did our interviews, and there was like 20 people, 20, 30 people in the production room, making sure everything was running smoothly and cutting between casts, telecasts, and all that kind of stuff, man. So hell of a job to the Arlington's esports arena and their staff over there, and a hell of a job to the UPA for getting it all set up.
For me, I mean, I'm not gonna get much into it. The only thing I'm gonna hit on is between online tournaments and in-person tournaments, the biggest thing that everybody should take away from what happened down in Dallas is that Merck should have been drafted to the 2K League. This man is a star, not only on the sticks, but he has that presence on stage. And I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody else, but Merck really, like, you saw he could be that face that a franchise could be looking for. And like, I don't want to overlook what Liquid did, because I've talked about Liquid here for 25 minutes. And I don't want to overlook what Firesticks did, because Dot did a really good job of putting together Firesticks Gaming. Seldom's coming into a player of his own. And you also got King, that actually looks like he's a decent lock over on P5. And then you also got GNA, which Rankum destroys both Xbox and PlayStation every single 2K. But Merc, to me, was the centerpiece. Like, just seeing the way that he conducts himself, the way that he is animated and can continue to stay locked in during these animations and hoop at a high level. It just shows you that Merc should have been drafted, and he is one of the bigger snubs from this recent draft. But that's all I have on, the two tournaments, or LAN versus online.
I like it, man. Two good takes. I think people need to realize, like, I don't know how you wouldn't think that there's that much more pressure, but it's got to be an insane difference. But that's it for me, man. I think we touched on everything with this tournament, so I'm wrapped up on questions here.
All right, Chris, you got center stage. If you got anything you want to, shout yourself out, if you want to, hit on anything that we didn't touch upon, now's the time.
Yeah. First of all, I want to shout out some people. First and foremost, shout out Cooks, man. 20 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, NBA 2K League debut on short notice. Just finalized. They lost by 5, but really strong debut for someone who just got picked up and literally found out like 3 minutes before the game that he was starting. And just a shout out to my Liquid Pro-Am team for keeping it together. Number 1 seed, but look, pressure is a privilege, and a privilege that's really hard. I'm proud of you boys for seeing that there's a target on your back and dealing with it. I mean, the number 1 question wasn't just is Liquid number 1 seed. It was also, can 3 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds handle the pressure of playing on a big stage with hundreds of people watching them. And I think Johnny Spam and Zay proved that to everyone that they could. Peroxide for being the great leader that you are, and Dietrich just for being as consistent and communicative and everything that you do at center. Furthermore, shout out my Liquid Biomechanics team, and this is a very special place in my heart, because these are grown-ass men with PhDs and MDs and JDs and every degree in the book that you can think of, from Harvard, Stanford, and Yale, that take a massive pay cut from working in corporate America to come work for a recently turned 22-year-old kid, and help build statistical models to sometimes bring game plans into 2K. This win and this UPA win is more about you guys than me, man. You guys miss kids' baseball games, you guys miss dinners with the wives and all that kind of stuff. To put in extra time on July 4th weekend so we can raise a trophy at the end of the day. You guys are the best in the world at what you do, and I couldn't be prouder to be heading up this operation with you guys on it. So yeah, appreciate the platform, guys. Appreciate you having me on as always, and that's it for me.
Khris, again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate every time you come on. We're gonna have to schedule something here. Speaking of analytics, right after the All-Star game, so we can get back into this baseball swing of things. But again, thank you for coming on. Congratulations to Liquid. I made sure that we hit on that as soon as it happened, and congratulations to you as well. Hopefully, we get to see this Liquid team play together pre-draft. We get another in-person tournament, and we get to see what Liquid can do against other teams that are now back from the league. So it's definitely very interesting to see what happens. That's all we have for tonight. I'm going to shout it out one more time. If you did not see my last live, tonight at 11:45 Eastern, My Player Team Up League tips off. Make sure you follow them on Twitch and you watch the game at MPTUL_league. You got Von calling the games. It's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it. It looks like it's going to be a 12 o'clock tip-off, but they got a great pregame show planned for everybody out there. Just make sure you go ahead and, watch what MTPUL has in store for you guys. And, tomorrow we'll be talking McGregor-Poirier Part 3, and we'll be recapping Game 2 of the NBA Finals. As always, Philly Frenzy out.